You guys ready for this, Blade? You ready?
Trying to distract me.
Blade is not happy that we're working on right now. If you've seen in other videos, you know Blade is the handsome dog who walks through and tries to nuzzle us off of our mats. But not today, Blade. Let's get warmed up, everyone. Jumping jacks or step touches today is a low impact hip workout. So we're going to get that heart rate up without ever really having to jump. It's a great one to throw in between workouts or ease back into or get your butt kicked with because you're pushing yourself. You know, all the above. Setting up that breath, hello, Blade, in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're here for 4. Nice long arms, feeling that shoulder girdle area start to open up. 3, 2, 1. High knees up and over the waistband. Again, always the option to take out that jump and just go for that march. But whatever we're doing, we do want to make sure that we're really pulling that core nice and tight. That lift is initiating the pull in our stomach. That's going to help us keep from dumping our lower back. The more engaged we can get in that core. Good. Here's your 4. Here's your 3. Here's your 2. We're going for step butt kicks. Heels into that glute. Really trying to get that full range of motion. Starting to feel the quads warm up. Maybe starting to feel a little heat now. In through that nose. If you ever start to overheat, I want you to practice that open mouth exhale. Let's go of any heat we're holding on to inside. Here's the 5, 4. Here's your 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and bring those feet right underneath those hips. Just a couple of squats to wake up to the hips. Sitting it back, standing it back up. Inhale, exhale. Imagining there's a chair behind you. If you'd like, I always welcome you to grab a chair and practice sitting down there so that you're really focused on dropping weight in the heels, keeping that chest high. Beautiful. Here's 4. Squeeze that butt like crazy. Here's 3. Here's your 2. And 1. So nice. Fingertips behind those ears. Gentle bend in the knees. Send those hips back. And then stand it on up. We've got our good morning. So we send the butt back. We feel the hamstrings start to warm up. Standing up straight. Making sure you're not dumping in that lower back. Really make sure you're keeping that tummy turn on, just like when we were going for those high knees. Inhale and exhale. Here's your 5. Checking in, make sure both feet are securely on the ground. We're not lifting to one side or up through the toes. Here's your 3, 2, 1. Gentle bend in your knees. Let's take swings across the chest. Just easy peasy. Letting go, trying to get space in the back. Feeling that core fire up as you twist. Nothing really too complicated. We're not throwing a punch yet. We're just letting gravity pull through our arms, giving space along the back line of that body. Here's your 4. Here's your 3. Here's the 2. And standing up at the top of your mat, dropping the chin to your chest, rolling down the spine, and then gently walking forward into a nice high plank. You're always welcome to take those knees whenever you'd like, but let's set up whether you're on your knees or toes. Shoulders are right over those wrists. We want those hands in a number 11. So good. We're squeezing our butt. We're lifting to the back of the knees, flexing the feet, and we're checking in to make sure we're lifting to the back of the head so we're not staring at our toes. Good. Step that right foot outside of that right hand. Gently drop that left knee to the floor, and then reach your right hand up so we're getting in the hips. Good. Getting to that chest. Circle out to the wrist just a little bit. Get a little space. Take it in the other direction. Keep reaching towards the ceiling. Really feel that chest expand. Beautiful. Go ahead and drop that right hand, lifting to the back of the knee, and then we'll switch sides. Left foot switches up. We drop through the right knee, and then that left hand reaches towards the ceiling. Big old stretch in the chest. And then circle through that wrist. Good. Other direction. Keep thinking of lifting up and out of that supporting hand on the floor so you really get that space across the clavicle. Good. And go ahead and drop that hand back down. Walk that left foot back. 1 more second here, just holding in that plank. Lifting through the back of the head, through the back of the heels, through the back of the knees, everything lifting towards the ceiling. Good. Take a gentle bend in those knees. And walk back the way you came. Plant those heels and roll it up the spine. Let's talk about it. We have 8 exercises. We're doing 3 times through, 1 minute apiece. I'm gonna run through real fast right now, and then I'll remind you as we move through it. So our first one, we're working back onto the body. Just like our warm-up, we're hinging at the hips. We're gonna send our fingertips wide, really feel the shoulder blades turn on, and then we're gonna pulse right here. I'll talk a little bit more about form when I get there, but just so you have an idea, this is what it's gonna look like in general. Then we're gonna go ahead and move it into our balancing and our ab work. So we're gonna alternate single leg movements, shifting into one side of our body, really sucking that femur into the hip. We're using that abdomen to lift our knee, rotate open, keeping our hips still. If you'd like, you can add that oblique crunch and then take it forward. Take this nice and slow. A lot of times our stability is a little less strong than we think it is. So just figure out where it is that maybe you're falling off center, and then you can add speed as you move into the next 2 rounds. Then we're moving into a push-up series. So we're all going to start in a plank, and then from there we can drop the knees to the mat. So we have a little extra support, dropping chest between hands, squeezing the core, pulling belly button in. We're going to reach with our right hand, reach with the left hand, back to that push-up. So we're working chest and shoulder stability. And then the end, we are taking it into more ab work. Starting with those knees above those hips, palms are going to face the ceiling. We're going to crunch up, working that upper abdomen. Then point your toes, tap on the floor, bring them back up, release. So we're working upper abdomen, lower abdomen, all at once. We're almost out of this, guys, and then you get less talking. Psych, I'm going to talk the whole time. Then we're going to up that cardio. So we get low, load those quads. We're going to go for taps, 30 seconds on one side. Staying loaded in our supporting leg, we go front, side, back, front, side, back. So we're using that core for stability, and then we really want to tap it. So notice if you drop weight on it, try to just tap, tap, tap. 30 seconds, we're on that other side. Then we're taking our seated dips, firing up through the triceps. Again, if you're like, what is happening? I'll tell you as we move through it. You're on your butt, hands are turning out towards the side, shoulders are back, and we're just gently dropping back, hinging at the elbows, working on firing up through our triceps, which are the back of those arms. Into that nose, exhale up through that dip. 2 more moves, and then we'll get it started. Working on our lateral side squats. Feet are right under those hips. We sit it down, step to the side, stand it on up. Sit, step to the side, stand it on up. And then we get to finish with our jabs. A little bit of arm work. Keeping those legs springy, we jab forward, jab across. Jab forward, jab across. This is one that as we move through it, you can start to add a little bit of speed with it. All right, it's okay if you remember nothing I said. I will tell you every single time we get there, but we are starting with our T, pulse, and hinge. So we're gonna start by sending those hips back towards the wall, arms reaching towards the sides of the room, and then pulsing back in 3, 2, here we go. So we really want to feel those shoulder blades try to fold and touch behind our back. We also want our wingspan as big as we can get it. So we're reaching towards the outside of the room, and then we're pulsing, firing up through the back line of the body. Notice where your chest is aligned. If you're staring kind of straight ahead, I want you to think more about sending the butt back, creating that L shape in the body, and then really pulling that belly button in tight. Sometimes we have a tendency to dump in that lower back, but I want you to really think just of that high knee. Tip that tailbone forward and pull that belly button into the spine. Good. Another thing to pay attention to is if your knees are starting to collapse or you're feeling kind of weak in the glutes. Energetically, I like to pull my heels apart. Like I'm trying to rip the floor in half. Then I just get a little bit of extra recruitment through those glutes. Good. We should start feeling a little bit of heat between these shoulder blades. Maybe you pick up those pulses. Check in, make sure that tummy is nice and tight so we're not dumping in our lower back. Keep reaching to the outside of the rooms. Here's your 3, 2, let it on go. Ooh, we're taking it into our balance section. So, isolating one leg, we lift one knee up, rotate open, crunch. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Remember, take your time here. Really focus on that balance. Maybe this first round, we're just working on hitting single leg stabilizers. Maybe we're just taking the open. Maybe you're adding that oblique. But whatever you're doing, I want you going slow, and I want you using this first round to really build that connection with your body. If you start to tip over, notice what part of your body gives in. Are you hinging at the hips? Is your knee kind of bending? I want you to think of that kneecap sucking into the quad sucking into the hips. So you have that nice supportive base. Really squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core. When you're ready, feel free to add that tip. Or if that's not happening for you today, leave it out. You don't need it. And remember, really lift. We initiate our core as we bring that knee up. So if you're leaving your knee below the waistband, you're losing that initiation. So get that knee a little bit higher. 3, 2, beautiful. Bring it right on into, oh good, our push-up. So we're all gonna get started in a plank so that we can drop to our knees from that plank. Here's 3, 2, we're on the knees, drop heart between hands, push the floor away, reach through the fingertips, set that hand down, reach through the fingertips, set that hand down, inhale, lower, exhale up. Good. Really, just like on that T-pulse, I want you to focus on finding length in the arms. So we're not just kind of casually tossing that hand. We're reaching with powerful fingertips and setting it down so that we're sculpting through the shoulders, through the lats. So good. Thinking about our chest and hips moving as a unit. So you want the butt and the chest to move as one, especially as you come back up. Sometimes we body roll it up, but do your best to keep the chest and hips moving in unison like you're tied to a board. Good. Keeping that belly button nice and tight. I know. Feel free to leave push-ups out if you want. Go for shoulder reaches. Feel free to just go for push-ups. Let this be your own. 3, 2, amazing. The best part is we're done with that one for now. We're taking it into our ab work. So we're gonna flip on our back. Knees above those hips. Here we go. We're gonna crunch up, pull those arms forward, tap the toes, pick them back up, lean the chest back down. As you're moving through this, I really want you to think of drawing that belly button in towards the spine, down towards the earth. Oh, guys, remember how I said blade? I wish you could see this right now. Listen, this is why we love dogs. They give us an excuse to be distracted momentarily. So good. Into that nose, out through that mouth, especially on that crunch up. Try to keep it out of your neck. So make sure you're initiating through that upper abdomen as opposed to the back of your head. And then really squeeze the tummy as you drop the toes. Lift them up, lower. Moving the legs again at the same time. So one isn't traveling in front of the other. Turn on that pelvic floor. Here's 3. Here's 2. And 1. Roll it on up. We are moving into our cardio. So now we're on one side, loading that leg. We go front, side, back. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So in a way, we're building on that balance that we had at the top. Because we really want to make sure we're not putting too much weight on this foot. It's a tap, 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 tap. If you need to, you can always tap center, tap out, tap center. Keep recommitting to the middle. But if you can, work on that balance. We switch sides in 5. So good. Check in, make sure that supporting leg, that foot is facing forward. 30 seconds, other side, load that quad. Really put the power in that heel, squeeze that butt, squeeze that quad. So good. Into that nose, out through the mouth. This one's a real sneaker. Whoo-wee. So good. Working a little coordination, maybe get a little arm action. Here we go. For 8, we push. For 5, can you sink a little lower in that supporting leg? Make sure you're in that heel instead of that toe. 3, 2, shake it on out. We are into those seated dips. So on our butt, we're going to take our hands behind us in 3, 2. I like to turn out at my hands so that as I drop, my shoulders have a lot of space. I'm not curling forward. Inhale, exhale up. So just a gentle bend. I'm going to go this way so you can see. As I drop, I'm hinging at my elbows, and I'm keeping them pulling towards the midline. So I'm really working that tricep, the back of the arm. You can have your arms back a little bit more if it gives you a little extra support. But really, we're always staying tight to that core. So try not to arch too much, try not to collapse. Just again, using this first round to notice what comes up in your body. If your shoulders start collapsing, gently roll them up and back. So good. Inhale and exhale. So nice. Feeling the quads. If you want a little extra, you can either go for speed or you can hold, pulse, come back up. So there's lots of ways to build if you're up to it. Otherwise, moving through this 3, 2, up on your feet, we're taking our squat portion. So keeping our feet hip width distance, we sit down into our chair, step to the side, stand it out and up. In 3, 2, sit it down, step to the side, stand up. Now you get to practice that squat form a lot right here because every time you step to the side, I want you to make sure that those feet are right under those hips. So good. So give a peek when you land, making sure not only they're right under those hips, but they're in the same line. Sometimes we stand with one foot forward, sometimes it's turned in. Imagine you're setting up on a pair of skis. Squeezing at the top, realigning, and then sitting right back down into that chair. So good. We really start to feel those quads heat up as we stay low on this lateral walk. So good. If you're feeling it in your lower back, slow it down and don't go quite so low. Pull that belly button in tight. Maybe stop right here. Chances are you're dropping your heart. So just notice where your eyes are. You want them a little bit forward as opposed to at the ground. Here's 3, 2. We have one more move and then we get our break. It's those jabs. Nice gentle bounce in those legs. We jab forward, across. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Forward, across. Forward, across. If you'd like, you can get a little fancy, add a little triple extension through the leg as you jab across so that you are extending through ankle, knee, and hip. Out and across. One thing with jabs, we really want to make sure we're staying just as strong at pulling the jab back in as we are as sending it out. So sometimes we'll send it out and just kind of let it flop back. I want you to send it out, pull it back. Send it out, pull it back. You work different muscles on the retrieval. So good, stay low. Notice where your fists are. Can you get them right by your face? Can you hold the fists? Protect that money maker this whole time. It's also going to give you a little extra work through the biceps. All right, team, we're at the end at 8. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, yay! Oh, we have fun. Well, that's one. Take a little break, grab a little water. We're going to go through that 2 more times because we loved it so much the first time. Now we know what we're doing, so we can add a little something. Maybe it's speed. Maybe in this next round, our goal is just to keep going without taking breaks. You do you. But we are getting started in 20 seconds. This is where I like to do a little dance break. Normally Marcus comes on and pitches water or something else that's bizarre. Maybe Blade would come out and dance. Not that water's bizarre. We love water. Don't waste it. It's a precious resource. And that's our time. So we are back at it. Same moves. 10 seconds. We're starting with that hinge to T pulse. Sending the hips back in 5. Belly button is tight. Hips go back. We reach to the outside of the room in 3, 2, pulse. So strong. Right off the bat, we do a couple of checkpoints. Are we reaching our fingertips as far out as we can go? And are we keeping them there as we pulse back? Then check in further down the spine. Do you feel like you're letting an arch in that lower back? See what you can do about pulling that belly button in and tipping that tailbone forward. Another way to help that arch is to do that little trick I said about pulling the heels apart energetically. So they're not going to move, but I definitely feel them firing all the way up through the outside of my body. So good. In through that nose, out through the mouth. Noticing if we're letting any tension in the neck and just gently shake it out. Here we go, team. Can you get those hands a little bit closer together and pulse from here for 15 seconds. So good. Belly button keeps pulling into spine. Keep that spine so long. Pulse a little bit harder. Here's 5. Hip. 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. And 1. So good. Shake it out. We are back into our balance. All right. So if you didn't play around with the oblique crunch, maybe this round you try it just a couple times. If you hate it, leave it out. We go 3, 2. Knee zips up. Oh, hello, balance. Find that balance. Opening, keeping those hips still. Reach. Bring center. I like to imagine that I'm balancing a tray on a belt, and you don't want to spill what's on that tray. So especially as we open, notice if you have a tendency to sort of drive the hips to the side, and just keep thinking of growing nice and tall to the crown of the head. Blade loves this one. Here we go. In through the nose, out through the mouth, cementing that grounding foot down, feeling the heel drive into the earth, using the tush and the tummy to stabilize. If you fall out of it, that's A-okay. Take a second, get back in, and keep rocking. Notice what your feet are doing. Are you setting them out at an angle? Try to keep them nice and forward, just like when we go for those squats. Here's 3, here's 2, and 1. Amazing. We are moving into our push-ups, my favorite. So remember, we start in that plank and then drop the knees. In 3, 2, 1. We do that so we keep the shape of that push-up. We're dropping hard between hands, squeezing the belly like crazy, reaching for the wall in front of us with both of those arms. Again, really make those reaches count. Strengthen the fingers, holding a little bit at the top so that we're finding full range of motion into those shoulders and into those lats. Keeping those hips pretty stinking still. So if you're reaching and feeling that you're tipping up, try to squeeze that tummy in a little bit tighter and stay parallel with the floor. So good. 20 seconds right here. On those push-ups, we want to make sure that our heart is right between our hands and that our shoulders aren't collapsing forward. So think of those shoulders rolling down and back, and those thumbs pull together as we press that floor away. So good. Using that out breath. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Bye-bye push-ups. All right, so we are into our crunch to toe tap. Starting on our back, belly button draws into the floor, knees are right over hips. 3, 2, 1, we reach, lifting through the abdomen, tap the toes, bring them up, lay it back down. Keeping that belly button drawing into the spine the whole time. Remembering that as we lift the heart off of the floor, we really want to do so with the front line of the body. Notice if you're keeping tension in the neck, if your chin's down, and just gently try to invite it into the abs. Into the nose, out to the mouth. If you're moving through this and you're finding you're having a lot of trouble releasing through the neck, you can always leave the top crunch out of it and just work on that lower abdomen so you're not pulling on the neck at all. So good. Stay with it. Every movement has its own breath attached. We're here for 8. Keeping those knees right over those hips as opposed to collapsing in. We push for 4. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, a little bit of cardio. 30 seconds to one side as we go forward, side, and back. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Load that leg. Remember, we are stabilizing on that supporting leg. So really think of driving that heel into the floor. If you're leaning forward a lot, maybe you're taking it in that toe. I really want you to think of shifting back. Use that heel. So good. We switch sides in 5. In 4. In 3, 2, set it up. Other side, really cement that heel down. So good. We're feeling the heat in that supporting quad because that is our stabilizer in this move. So good. Remember, feel free to add a little pump in the arms. Gets a little extra blood flow going. Maybe a little Macarena action. You do you. You know, make it fun. We're here for another 10, so you might as well enjoy yourself. We're here for 5. Hey, we're here for jazz hands. For 3, 2, 1. I don't know why that one hurts so much, but it sure does after a while. And back to our dips. So setting up, I like to turn my hands out. Shoulders are out of my ears. 3, 2, 1. Step back. Bring it up. This is not a crazy big range of motion. Inhale and exhale. Really thinking of wrapping those elbows back to touch. If we're bowing out, we're missing a lot of our triceps. So always bring the elbows in towards that midline. Again, pulling that belly button nice and tight. Sensing a theme here, right? We're always engaging through that abdomen. After you move through this for a little bit, feel free to maybe add some speed. Maybe add a pulse at the bottom. Pulse up. And just keep checking in with those shoulders. Notice if they're starting to collapse. Roll them back, keep that chest nice and proud. Here's your 8. Here it is. Stay for 5. Push for 4. Here's your 3, 2, 1, and done. Up we go. We are taking it back into our squat walk. Feet are underneath those hips. We sit it low in 3, 2, sit down, step to the side, stand it up. Remember, as we step to the side, those feet land right back under our hips, so that as we stand up, we can press into the heels, initiate through the quads and the glutes. What we don't want to do is push back up using the toes. Once we start putting power in our toes, then we start to shift into the kneecaps, and we love our kneecaps too much for that. We really want to make sure we're always sitting back into the heels. Taking it as slow or as fast as you need. If you want a little more heat, maybe play around with not coming up at the top. I am going to continue to stand, but if you want that burnout, go for it. I love it. Just keep checking in, making sure your head is up just a little bit, as opposed to staring at the ground. Here's your 10. Almost out of this second round. You are so close. Feel that fire. Sink a little lower. Get it in those heels. Here's your 3. Here's your 2. Beautiful. That's your 1. We are finishing with those jabs. So remember, we throw it out and we pull it back just as strong. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Jab out, jab across. Jab out, jab across. Working through those arms. Also, a nice little pop of cardio at the end. So really make sure you're breathing. Sometimes when we throw these jabs, we have a tendency to hold our breath. Make sure you're using that oxygen. Unless you like to pass out, and then that's your own thing. Here we go. Notice if you're just dropping it at the end. Really feel that pull back. Can you get those fists right over that face? That initiates a little bit more through the arms. Woo-wee! I know, this is the coolest we felt. I always keep a face on that's like way too serious for who I am when I'm punching. I'm like, yeah, get it. Oh, how you like me now? This is the biggest I felt all week. We stay for 7. We push for 4, for 3, for 2. Congratulations, round 2 is done. Take a second, collect yourself, grab a little water if you need it, towel off. You're amazing. We did 2 rounds of this. We have 1 more, 2/3 of the way through. Pretty darn good in my book. 1 more round of each of these. Now you're definitely familiar. It is our last round here. So I want you to set goals for yourself that take you to a burnout. Your goal is to try to hit it and not have 1 more rep left in you by the time we're at the end of this day. All right, my friends, 10 seconds, and we are going into our final round. Hinging at the hips, reaching, reaching, reaching. Sending the hips back, trying to tap the butt on the wall in 3, 2, hips go back. That turns on through the hamstrings. And then we initiate the pulse. Reach those hands right out from our shoulders, big wingspan, and then try to fold the back in on itself. So good. Tipping that tailbone forward so we never feel this in that lower back because of how fired up we are through our core. Get those hands even closer. Maybe keep these pulses small and quick. In through the nose and out the mouth, really specific movements. We can create even more heat if we continue to reach out through those fingertips. Let the entire upper body stay energetic. And then check in. Make sure you're breathing, right? We love a little oxygen. So good. Notice if you're feeling it in that lower back. Maybe stand up and reset, send the hips back. Whatever you need to do, listen to your body. We are committed to finishing this in 10. Stay in 8. Stay with it, team. You've made it this far. We push for 4, for 3. Let it burn. Here's 2 and 1. Beautiful, beautiful work. Back into our balance. All right, so we are lifting and rotating in 3, 2. Plant the foot. We lift up. Rotate open. Woo, crunch. Just because we've done it a bunch of times doesn't necessarily mean that our balance is perfect. Isn't that great? That means we have new goals. Woo-wee. How many times will I fall over? Let's not count. Remembering that our glutes and our tummy are 2 of our biggest stabilizers. So really squeezing the butt and the core, and using that lift to engage both. The other thing that really helps me is to always think of energy coming out the top of my head, especially as I lift that knee. It helps remind me to send energy through the ground and out towards the ceiling, and it keeps me from kiltering to one side. Good. 15 seconds. Yes, you can. Fight for that balance. Even if you're not going for the oblique, let's just go for alternating strong leg lifts, right? Without any wobble. Here's your 5. Here's your 4. Tummy's tight. 3, 2. Amazing. Shall we finish these push-ups? I sure will miss them, but let's get them out of the way. Here we go. Setting up in that plank, dropping those knees in 3, 2, chest to deck. Reach and reach. Stabilize those hips. Heart is right between hands, elbows wrapped tight, and press it away. Think all the way back to our first round about the chest and the butt moving as a unit, especially as we push back up. Notice if your heart kind of comes up and then your butt. We don't want to snake off the floor. We want to move it as one solid unit. Good. Big old reach, bicep by ear, shoulder out of or down the back. If you're feeling it in that lower back, chances are you're dropping your hips before your heart. Just gently pike through the hips. Make sure you're using the breath. We love push-ups. Listen, same, boy, same. Here we go for Here we go for 4, 3, 2. Like I said, I do not blame him. Oh, we're on our back. This is nice. Whew, after push-ups, at least we get to lie down for a second. We're going for crunch to toe tap. 3, 2, crunch up, toe tap, crunch down. Lift through the heart, drop the toes. All the while we are feeling that belly button pull into our spine, making sure that those knees are always finishing right above our hips. He's the best, you guys. We feel the same about push-ups. He's adorable. What's not to love? So good. Really control each of these movements. Engage through the belly button. Stay, stay, stay. Remember, if you're feeling it in your neck and you can't get it out of there, just stick to toe taps, especially in this third round. Sometimes tension creeps up in the back line of our body, and that's okay. Just work with what you've got. Stay with it 10 more seconds, and you are out of this. And we are halfway through and almost done with our day. Here's your 3, 2, and 1. So beautiful. Back up to our feet. We're going for our little cardio pop. So remember that supporting leg, heel drives into the floor. 3, 2, forward, side, back. Stay low in that supporting leg in the heel. Yeah, I'm excited too. Here we go. Notice if now that you're starting to be a little bit more fatigued, if you have a tendency to hold in those taps a little more, really make them light. Tap, 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 like you're touching hot ground. If you don't want to keep your foot there, move it as fast as you can. Other side in 3, 2, 1, cement that heel, let's switch. Into the nose, out the mouth. Remember, we want that weight in the heel as opposed to coming up on the toe. So just like a squat, think of bringing that heart up a little bit more. So good. Maybe add those arms back in. Here we go. 10 seconds. Can you play around? See if you can get it just a little bit faster. You don't have to, but if you're trying, you're pushing, and I love it. Here's your 4. Stay, stay, stay. Here's your 3, 2, 1. Amazing, amazing, truly. Let's go ahead and finish these dips. Setting up on our butt. Shoulders are back. Palms are out. We go 3, 2. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up. I think we all need a blade in our life. I probably sound like a crazy person because you can't see what's going on, but I promise you, it's adorable. I wouldn't lie to you about cute dogs. I'd lie to you about a lot of things, not about cute dogs. Here we go. Keep those shoulders down your back. If you're feeling crazy, add some pulses. Maybe take it for speed. But remember, those elbows are always wrapping behind your back. Shoulders are rolling down and back. Stay right here. 20 seconds in these triceps. Maybe hold and pulse till the end. Get a little extra push, or keep doing the thing. You know, like I said, whatever works for you. I just want you pushing yourself to your limit, finding that edge, and then going a little bit further. Here's 5, 4. Here's 3, 2. Give yourself a hug and then stand on up. We have 2 minutes of work and we are done. A little bit of stretching and you're out of here. We're taking our squats in 3, 2. Sit it down, side step, stand it up. Sit it down, side step, stand it up. Feet stay forward, weight is in those heels. Remembering if you want that little extra, you can go ahead and stay low. Again, I'm not going to do it, but if you do, I love that for you. So good. Noticing what happens as you step. Does anything shift? Do you have a tendency to lift through the hips? Try to keep dropping it down like you're sliding your butt along a bench. That too will solve the problem if you have a tendency to stare down as you step across. Slide across that bench, keep your eyeballs up. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 20 seconds. So good. Almost out of this. Keep squeezing the glutes. Squeeze as you sit. Squeeze as you stand. 10 seconds on the clock. Can you add maybe a little bit of speed here? Find a little burnout for 4, 3, 2. Amazing. We have 1 more push. How do I keep forgetting these jabs? They're my favorite. In 3, in 2. Let's finish it right here, right now. This is the move that takes us home. The one that if you're anything like me, makes you feel pretty stinking cool. Using that breath. Keeping hands by the face. Hip. Lower those legs. Stay honest. Are you bringing it back intentionally or are you letting that arm flop down? Stay strong to the end. You've pushed all the way through 3 rounds of this. All I need is 32 more seconds of your day. And you're free at last. So good. Ask yourself, what can you add right here and now to up this intensity just a little bit? Maybe it's speed. Maybe it's just talking yourself through the end, not letting yourself quit. Maybe it's pulling back even stronger. Whatever you're doing, here's your 8. Stay with it. Yes, you can. 4. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Whoo-wee. High five yourself. Go pet your dog. And let's go ahead. We're going to do a quick little cool down. Blade, you're the coolest. Quick little cool down. Let's lie down on our back. Whoo-wee. Taking the arms either out to a cactus or maybe they come out to a T, whatever is better for you. Walk your feet wide and then just let your legs drop center so the knees buckle in. Just getting into the outside of the hips. Take it side to side just a little. Just feeling the hip flexors open. Nothing too crazy or big, just getting a little movement. Lots of squats today. And then walk your feet back like you're going to hit a glute bridge. And then gently drop your legs to the right. Getting a gentle spinal twist. I want you to keep those shoulders pinning so you can really hit that spinal twist. Take your head to the opposite direction of your legs. And then focus on breathing all the way down the length of your spine into those sits bones. And letting those exhales stay just as long. Really turning on that restorative breathing. Letting everything get heavy and gentle. Feeling the heart rate start to drop. Beautiful. Big old inhale down here. And on your exhale, bring yourself back to center. Realign those feet if maybe they've fallen out of position. And then let the legs fall to the left. Gentle, gentle. Head to the right. Again, shoulders really pinning down. You want the shoulders down so you get that full range of motion through our twist. Really rinsing through that nervous system. Same thing here. Really seeing how deeply you can sink your breath. And then seeing if you can keep it even longer on that exhale, just signaling to that nervous system that we've made it to the end and now we're in that recovery mode. Beautiful. One nice deep inhale, fall a little deeper. Exhale, center. Bring the knees into the chest just for a second. Maybe rock side to side if that lower back feels tight. Keep breathing through it. And then gently bring yourself back up to a tabletop position, however you want to get there. We're going to take a quick cat-cow just to get into that spine. So hands are going to be right under your shoulders. Knees are going to be right under your hips. As you inhale, I want you to drop the belly and lift the chin. And then feel like your hands and your knees are pulling together. So you're trying to fold your mat. That just brings the chest a little further, gives a little bit more of a bend. And then on your exhale, the exact opposite. So chin drops the chest. You arch the back. Hands and knees pull apart. Finding space in the vertebra. One more inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, really feeling that movement in the spine. And then exhale, chin drops the chest, arch into that cat. And then neutral tabletop, walk those hands back, similar to how we started, except we're going to get there differently. We're going to step our right foot forward, squeezing those glutes. If you need, realign, maybe fold your mat up if you want a little extra support under that knee. Good. Really squeeze the butt here. So the left quad should feel nice and stretched. Squeeze the butt, square the hips. Left arm is going to come across. Give yourself a little hug, and we're going to hit a bicep stretch. Good. Keep squaring off through the hips, squeezing that butt forward, staying tall through the spine. And then take that left hand sweep up and over, reaching for your shoulder blades. Gently going for that tricep stretch. Noticing if your head is jutting forward and just gently pull it back in line. Shoulders fall out of the ears. Keep squeezing that butt forward. Feel that left leg open. And then take those hands, bring them on either side of that right foot. And we're going to pull our hips back, getting into a hamstring stretch. Imagine there's a little hook on your right hip and just gently pull it back in line with the left. So we're really getting nice and deep into that hamstring. Breathing through this, going long through the spine. And then just gently walk it back, move through that tabletop, and then let's step that left foot forward. We're going to hit this other side, and then we're going to get you out of here. Scoop that butt forward, feel the lengthening in the right leg, stack shoulders on top of hips, pull that belly button in tight, right arm comes across. You go for our bicep stretch, good. Keeping those hips square, squeezing that glute. Big old inhale, get a little taller through the spine, and on your exhale, release, sweep the arm up and over, reaching for the tops of your shoulder blades. Left arm comes, we're not pulling down on that arm. We're just gently assisting with a little extra tension. Remember, pull that head back and grow tall. And then on your next exhale, arms grow long, windmill forward, framing that front foot. And then go ahead and move yourself into that hamstring stretch. Walk that foot forward if you need, come up on that heel. Really flexing the foot towards the face. Feeling that hook on the outside of the left hip, pull it back in line with the right. Find an inhale, find lengthen that spine. And then exhale, deepen just a little bit more into this stretch, keeping that heart reaching for the toe. Beautiful. Go ahead and however you need to do so, come back into that tabletop. One more cat-cow just to say thank you to our spine. Inhale. Exhale. If there are any other movements you like to take down here, go for it. You do your own thing. We all have things that feel nice. And then we're just going to lift the knees and pop up into a down dog. Pedaling to the back of the legs, shaking out the head. Just inviting a little bit of movement into the hips, into the shoulders, into the neck. Keep a big old bend in those legs and gently walk the hands back. So you're creating a bend so big with those legs that you've created a shelf for your chest. Chin is on the chest. Everything hangs loosey-goosey. Shake, 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 shake. Let all that extra tension out. And then drive through the heels, squeeze through the butt, and gently stack one vertebra at a time. Then turn to yourself and tell you you're awesome, because you are. Happy workout. We're having a good time. I'm sweaty, and I hope you are too.